All right, you guys. I do not own the rights to this music. This is Leela James. This is the Wifey Rehab Part 2. Part 2. All right, I'm getting my notes together. Hey, what's up? Come on in. It's 8:05. Come on in. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Joy. What's up, ladies? Hey, as you guys are coming in, hey, Dee. As you guys are coming in, please drop in the comments how long you have been married, or if you are married, drop that in the comments. I just want to kind of get a feel of what the audience is and who I'm talking to. So if you are married, go ahead and drop in the comments how long you've been married. As for me, I will be married. This September will be 10 years for me. So 10 years. Okay, 5 years. All right. So this year for me marks year 10. I also want to remind you, ladies, of the Wifey Rehab activity sheets that I have put together. If you want these sheets, they're completely free. I can email them directly to you in a PDF. You can download it, print it out, and work on it. I'm going to actually do a session where I'm going to be walking you through these sheets. They are very, very easy, very simple. But this is my gift to you. So drop your email below. I want to be able to send these sheets out to you. These are the Wifey Rehab sheets when the honeymoon ends. Hey, Marcella. Hey, so as I was telling the other ladies, as you're coming in, just drop how long you've been married in the comment section. Again, this is the Wifey Rehab. These are some activity sheets that I put together for you ladies. I can email it to you. It's in a PDF. Just drop your email below and I'll send that out to you, okay? All right. All right, so I just want to recap really quick. Last week, I gave you 3 rules to remember. 3 rules to remember from last week were: 1, keep your identity. If you did not see the video from last week, please just go back and watch the replay so you can have an idea of what the Wifey Rehab is. If you don't know who I am, my name is Neka Arnold-Scott. I started the Wifey Rehab last week. It's really been in my heart to do for the last several months as I have been going through rehabilitation in my marriage as a wife. And I wanted to create a platform, create a dialogue for other married women that have been married 10 plus years, 5 years, or what have you, just for us to come together and pretty much rally around each other and support each other through marriage, and let you know that marriage can work. Your marriage can work. Your marriage can come back. Your marriage can survive. Your marriage can thrive as long as you're able and willing to do the work. And the work works. Let me just say that. The work works. Hey, Shakisha. Hey, Janice. If you ladies are just joining me, I was asking everybody to drop in the comment section how long you have been married. If you are married, how long have you been married? If you're engaged, you can put that. If you're single, you can put that as well. All right, so I was recapping from last week. Last week, I gave you 3 simple rules. 1 was keep your identity. The second one was speak up. And the third one was meditate and breathe and just let go. And really quick, so keeping your identity just basically means continue to do the things that made you an individual person. I have to remember to do the things that made Neka an individual outside of being a wife, outside of being a mom. So those are the things that I'm talking about when I say keep your identity, right? Still do the things that you like to do that make you who you are outside of, being a wife. All right. The second one is speak up. If you're feeling something, no longer say, if your husband say, well, what's wrong? Nothing, because what you do is you damage the communication between the two of you, because later when you come back and say, oh, well, what I was going to say earlier today, after the mood has kind of settled and he's gone past it, right? You said nothing, so he doesn't think anything of it, but then you bring it up later. then what that does is it causes friction in the house. And he's like, well, I asked you, why didn't you say? You know, so I'm saying speak up. If you see something, say something. If you feel something, say something. So that's what speak up is all about. And meditate and breathe is just taking a moment before you lose control, before you say something you don't mean. You know, just take a moment to just breathe and relax and just let it go. If it's not something that needs to be addressed right at that moment, if you're out, if you're in front of the kids, you know, or if you're in front of company or anything like that, just breathe, take a moment and walk away. So this week we're going to be talking about do's and don'ts. I have my notes here because I wanted to make sure that I covered everything that I was just kind of thinking about. So this week we're going to be talking about do's and don'ts. Number 1, don't sweat the small stuff. Hey, Latina. Don't sweat the small stuff, ladies. Don't sweat the small stuff. Instead, I want you to categorize and analyze, okay? Don't sweat the small stuff. Instead, categorize and analyze. What am I talking about? I'm talking about look at the situation, look at the comment or what have you, look at the feeling. Okay, is this true or is this a negative emotion? Is this true? Is this a fact? Or is this a negative emotion? Basically, if something is said between you and your husband, is there some validity in what he's saying? And you're offended by the fact that he called you out on a truth. You know, I know for me, my husband is very good with that, you know, and I get ticked off because he was right, you know, and I just get mad or what have you, or I get an attitude because he was right and I didn't like the fact that he pointed that out, and it made me feel guilty about not doing something, not saying something, or not holding up my end of the bargain or whatever the deal is. So, or is it just negative? If he's just saying something that's just completely negative and offensive, you know, and it may be because of his culture, it may be because of his upbringing, it may be because he's, you know, wearing something on his shoulder or what have you. So analyze and categorize situations, you know, before you start sweating the small stuff, right? Before you just start blowing things out of proportion. Analyze, okay, is this the truth? Like, is he telling the truth? You know, do I not clean up the kitchen after I have just cooked everything, you know, in the house and left pots and pans? Like, is that the truth? You know, or is it something negative? Like, okay, wait a minute, like that was kind of offensive. So just categorize and analyze things before you go, you know, into sweating the small stuff and into, you know, creating a whole different atmosphere within yourself and within your household. So don't sweat the small stuff. Number 2, this is a big one for me. Do not compare. Last week, I talked about posting versus possessing. What am I talking about? Everybody is in love on social media. Everybody has the perfect marriage on social media. Everybody looks perfect outside of their house. You don't know what goes on behind those closed doors. You don't know how he really treats her behind closed doors, right? So never, ever, ever compare your marriage, your husband, you as a wife to anything you see on social media, right? Anything you see at church, okay? Come on, somebody. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. Or what you see at church. Or what you see on your job, or what you see, you know, at family gatherings. Do not compare your marriage to those other marriages that you see, especially what people post on social media. I cannot stress that enough, because so many wives and husbands, you know, compare their wife or their husband to someone else on social media. Don't do that, because let me tell you something, grass is grass, if you did not know, okay? Y'all have heard that saying, the grass is, you know, people think the grass is greener on the other side or whatever. Let me tell you, honey, grass is grass. If you maintain, manicure, water your grass will be just as green as somebody else's grass. Okay, let me just say that. And if you don't have grass, guess what? If you plant some, I don't know how to grow grass, but I'm sure that there is a way for you to grow grass, because I've seen people that have had bald lawns and now they have beautiful grass. So there is a way to get grass if you don't have grass, okay? So what am I saying? I'm saying that don't envy what somebody else has, or think that because they live here and they drive that their life is so much better than yours. or that this man, he look good, he smell good, he has a good job, you know, he lives in this house, and my husband over here, I can't get him to do X, Y, and Z, then maybe I should go with him. Maybe things will be better, you know, over there. I like the way he smiles at me. I like the way he looks at me. Baby, the grass is not always greener on the other side, okay? If you manicure and cut your grass will be just as green as anybody else's. What am I saying? If you do the work within your marriage, within yourself first, okay? If you do the work within you, your marriage will be whatever you desire for it to be. Your marriage can be whatever you desire for it to be. If you want there to be more romance in your marriage, you can have that. If you want there to be more affection in your marriage, more communication in your marriage, more friendly conversations in your marriage, guess what? You can have that. But this is the thing. A lot of times we don't want to be the sacrificial lambs. We don't want to do the things that we think men are supposed to do. Men are supposed to be romantic. Men are supposed to be like this and like that. Let me tell you something. If I want flowers, I buy flowers. If I want to give my husband flowers, I give him flowers. If I want to plan something romantic for us, then guess what? I don't wait on him to do that because I know it's what I need. And let me tell you this, we teach people how to treat us, right? And sometimes we have to reteach our husbands, especially if you've been married for a certain amount of time, okay? So don't compare your marriage. The grass is not always greener on the other side, honey. Your grass can be just as green if you are willing to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work in your marriage for your marriage to work. You have to. You have to be willing to sacrifice. The ring costs, baby. He may have paid the money for the ring, but guess what? You pay in sacrifice. Good sacrifice, but you also contribute to the cost of that ring, okay? So don't get it twisted, all right? So don't compare. That's number 2. Number 3, don't believe the hype, y'all. Don't believe the hype. There are good marriages. There are good men. There are good black men. There are good black straight men. There are amazing fathers. There are amazing men that love black women, right? That will love you no matter who you are, how you are, right? There are good black men. So this is what I said. Marriage is work. That's worth it. Marriage is work. It's work. Okay, you can say, oh, I just want to be married. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till I get married. I just want a husband. Let me tell you something, that's going to come at a price. And a lot of times we're not ready to pay the cost to be Mrs. So-and-so. Most of the time we're not ready, right? We just don't want to foot the bills by ourselves. We just don't want to raise the kids by ourselves. I'm just saying. So people get married for different reasons. People get married out of convenience. People get married for political reasons. People get married for financial reasons. People get married for all types of different reasons. Okay, so let's just be clear on that. However, if you want your marriage to work, your marriage can work. We need our men, period. Okay, I don't care what you have been told. We need our men. You need a man. Okay, that's not to say that you can't be an amazing woman, do your thing. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is this: there are certain things that we need from men physically, spiritually, emotionally, and sexually. Okay, I'm just saying, I already told y'all, disclaimer, if you're too religious, the wife of rehab is not for you, and I'm okay with that. But we have to be willing, all right, to understand and know that we need our men. We just have to be able to know our role in the relationship. That doesn't mean, okay, I'll wash the dishes, you take out the trash. That's not what I'm saying. Just knowing how to honor and respect our men as the head of household. See, a lot of us were raised by single women. So all we know is that independent woman mentality, that independent woman. I can do it all by myself. I don't need you. I don't need help. I don't need that. But let me tell you something, baby. We need our men. Vices will never replace our men. Vices will never replace our men. There is a hormone that their body gives off that we need, right? So don't believe the hype that, oh, you girl, it's 2019, honey. You don't need a man. You can do it all by yourself. That's a bunch of bull. And most of the times those are very unhappy women. Because let me tell you something about what a man can do for a woman that a woman needs. Sex is therapeutic. Okay? With a man. Not with a vice. With a man. Okay? Understand that. Not only that, but baby, you lose 5 pounds just in sexual activity alone. 5 calories you burn. So that's exercise, okay? Not only that, but there's hormones that exchange that cause us to be less stressed, that cause our blood pressure to be at a normal rate. So there are pleasures and profits, okay, that being with a man gives you that being without a man does not. Okay, so let's be clear. Let's be all the way clear on that. And men were designed to give us those things. Listen, it's therapeutic. And let me tell you something. I'm about to be very XXX, but like I said, we're grown in the wifey rehab, okay? Let me tell you something about, and I'm talking about marriage. I'm just talking about marriage. Let me tell you something. When you are in sexual activity with your husband, okay, understand this. There is something, if y'all don't believe what I'm saying, if anybody remembers Dr. Ruth, I'm gonna have to bring it all the way back to Dr. Ruth for you. Dr. Ruth talked about sex and the benefits of sex. So all of y'all women out there withholding sex from your man as a punishment, baby, guess what? You're punishing yourself too, because there are things that you need that he provides and vice versa. But let me tell you something about an orgasm. An orgasm blocks pain, okay? Not only that, but it's therapeutic, y'all. It's therapeutic. I'm gonna do a whole talk on sex in marriage, because we need to understand and we need to stand boldly in our power as women all the way around. Okay, stop playing these games with your husbands and talking about, oh, I'm mad at him, he not getting none tonight. Because guess what? They have to have it. They have to be able to release, because our men are taking on so much. Society is beating them down so much. And then they have to come home to a wife that doesn't even want to help him to release the stresses of his day. Are you kidding me? And we wonder why Vicky down the street with the big butt is always walking around and he looking at Vicky. He a man? Can I talk about it? I was having a conversation with somebody who's married, and we were just talking about how, we're not having sex. And I'm like, why? I don't understand. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it, because one of my friends asked me, Neka, do you always, sleep in revealing stuff? And I'm like, always. Oh, that's the work, ladies. You should not wear sweatpants to work. To bed. I'm just saying. That should not be a part of your bedroom wardrobe at all. You should have it all hanging out, laying out, and all of that. Why? Because men are visual creatures. If he loves you, if he's married to you, that means he desires you. So why not be desirable? Why not show that? Why not give y'all? Okay, so I'm just saying. I love the new. Yes, hey Terica. Yes, because every time I walk by, I want my husband to slap my tail. Every time. I want him to be looking at me and his mouth start watering. Every time. Every time. And we're almost 10 years into this thing. So if you want your marriage to be long and lasting, you got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to be willing to put it all out there. Literally put it all out there. Because trust and believe, Kitty Boo Boo in the street don't have no problem letting it all hang out. All right. So I'm just saying, slap it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh, yes. Okay. So, All of this is good stuff, y'all. I'm just saying, yes, I want my husband to be walking behind me with his tongue hanging out. Okay? I'm just saying. That's what I want. I want him to look at me and can't wait to get me home if we out. Or if we at home, I can't wait for him to, put the kids to bed so we can, do our grown-up dance. I'm just saying. And let me tell y'all something. You cannot be afraid to be a freak in the sheets for your man. Kitty boo boo, I'm not kidding. You cannot be afraid to be a freak in the sheets for your man. Y'all can make boss moves and do all of that outside your house. But when you're in your house, baby, hang from the chandelier, from the shower rod, let me tell you, from the doorknob, all of that. Blow his mind every time. That's all I'm saying, okay? And that brings me to my fourth point. My fourth point was do not get comfortable. Do not get comfortable. Do not get comfortable in your marriage. Do not feel so comfortable after 5 years, after 10 years, that you just let everything go. That you don't do all the things that you did when you were dating, when you were, trying to impress your husband with your cooking and, all your little stuff. You know all that stuff you pulled out the bag, honey. Don't stop that. Do not stop that. After almost 10 years of being married, my husband never know what's going to happen to him when he walked through this door some days. And it's intentional. And because I want him to know that he's the finest thing walking the earth to me. And that's what your husband should be for you. Every time he walks through that door, he should feel like he's the baddest Negro that has stepped this side of whatever city you live in. That's all I'm saying. Because you want that. You want that. So give it to him. Like, give that to him. So keep it spicy. Keep it spicy. Let me tell you, sometimes if you own your own home, y'all might have to take the vehicle to the back of the house. That's all I'm saying. Tell them to meet you back there. But do whatever it is that you feel like you have to do to keep things spicy. That's all I'm saying. Keep it spicy. Bring your sexy back. That's all I'm saying. But you can only do that when you start being real with you. Hey, Erica. Hey, LaShonda. When you start being real with you and know that you know what? It's okay. It's okay for you to bear all and be all for your husband. And I had to learn that. That's why this wifey rehab is for you guys, but it's also for me because I'm still going through rehabilitation myself. I'm still learning how to be a wife, and not only just be a wife, but be a good wife. Be a good wife to my husband. I listen to the things that my husband complains about, and I make those things my duty. If he's telling me, "Oh, you don't touch me, you don't want me to kiss you," and those are, ladies, these are signals. And I had to wake up to these signals like, oh, he's telling me exactly what he wants. Your husband will tell you exactly what he needs from you. We tell them what we need. We make suggestions as to what we need, but so do they. They say, oh, men are cold. Men don't communicate. Men. Yes, they do. You just have to be tuned into your husband's love language and stop thinking that everything you see on TV is real. Like, it doesn't go down like that. You have to listen to your husband. My husband wanted more affection from me. Right? And when he started talking, I'm like, okay, all right, man, what? And I just kind of blew him off for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And then he stopped telling me. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. What's going on? Why isn't he saying anything? And then I went into panic mode and I went into planning mode. I went into panic mode and I went into planning mode at the same time. I had to say, okay, what did I do once that I don't do now? What changed with me? And I had to realize that me being here, being there, doing all of these things were creating a distraction from my first duty, which is at home. And I had to get back and say, okay, these are the things that my husband has expressed to me that he needs. That he needs to feel like a man, that he needs to feel wanted, that he needs to feel needed, important, valued, number one, whatever. And I had to change my perspective. Like, okay. And I just took a notepad and I wrote down everything that he said I wasn't doing, that he needed. Right? And one day I just sat with that list and I was like, man, okay, Neka, where is the disconnect? Why does he have to say that this is what he needs and that you're not doing what's going on? And I had to have a talk with that chick in the mirror that I told you guys about. And I had to ask myself, okay, what's going on? Am I too busy? Am I distracted by other things? Am I having an emotional affair somewhere? I'm just saying, come on, somebody. Am I having an emotional affair somewhere else than when I get to my husband, I'm drained because I've had this emotional affair somewhere else? And I had to begin to just cut things off and just stop things one by one by one by one. So I eliminated everything except me and my husband. And focusing on me and my husband, I made that list of things my duty. And I started to do those things and master those things one by one. It took me a long time, y'all. It felt like hell at first. It was hard. You hear me? It was hard. It was so hard. That was the most trying time in my marriage. It was trying for me because it exposed who I was and who I was not. That I wasn't ready to face. I wasn't ready to face that. I wasn't ready to face who I was not. I was not ready to face the imposter I had become unbeknownst to myself. Right? So it was hard for me because it exposed me. And when you are exposed, you feel very vulnerable when you are exposed. So I had to deal with some Neka stuff, right? And as I was dealing with that Neka stuff, I made these things on this list my duty. And as I did that in serving my husband, because I had a problem with submitting. I'm not going to lie. Like, I had a problem with the word submit. I don't like that. I don't like nothing about submit. Okay? Because I feel like you're going to rule over. I don't like that. So we're not going to do that. But when I took on the word serve, I like that a lot better. When I took on the attitude of serving my husband, I like that a lot better. And I could do that. So on this list, I looked at this list as service to my husband. And it became easier and easier to do. Less painful. Okay, less awkward. I felt less vulnerable. And I felt empowered because I saw the look on his face. I saw the exchange that began to take place between he and I once I changed my perspective. Once I changed my focus, I began to see how my husband began to melt, began to open up and express more. And our marriage began to, turn a corner and take on a whole nother direction. But it wasn't until I decided, okay, you know what? I don't want my marriage to end. I said that out my mouth. I was like, I don't want my marriage to end. My husband is important to me. My family is important to me. I don't want my children to have to go through divorce. I didn't want that. I don't want to be a single parent. I don't want to be a single woman, I don't want to be that. I love being married. But I didn't want to do the work at first, y'all. I thought that it was just going to be like being infinitely girlfriend, boyfriend. But no, marriage is work. Being a good wife is work. Being a committed wife, being a faithful wife is work. And it's worth it. It's worth it. But you have to do the self-work on you first. And then the work that you do in your marriage will become easier. It will become effortless. I used to hold grudges. I could be mad at my husband for a whole week. Right, just mad. Right? No sex, no conversation. I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? But what I didn't realize was that was building walls between us. And I'm like, man, I don't want that. I don't want to live like that. I want him to enjoy me, and I want to enjoy him. I'm just saying. You know, so that's what the Wifey Rehab is all about, you guys. It's really about me sharing my journey, in just realizing the importance of loving yourself first in order to be able to love your husband and have the type of marriage that you desire. But you first have to be willing to die to everything you heard before. Everything you thought, everything your aunts and uncles went through, everything your grandparents went through, everything your friend and their husbands went through. You have to be willing to unlearn all of that and die to the you that you thought you were when you first married him, or the you that you thought you were before him. Because as you are changing and evolving, so are the needs in your marriage, and so are the needs of your husband. So that's the Wifey Rehab, y'all. So, you know, again, I have these sheets for you guys. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, please drop them. I'm loving the emails. I'm loving the inboxes. Thank you guys so much. But I wanted to be able to give you a tool. I wanted to be able to give you something tangible that you can write on to express your thoughts, feelings. This is a free PDF download that I created for you guys. It's about 5 pages. It's the Wifey Rehab, When the Honeymoon Ends. And it just, you know, pretty much takes you through where are you today and the future, us. Where are we today in the future us? And basically that's just pretty much taking an inventory of your marriage. Where are we today? Are we loving each other? Are we communicating? Are we having sex often? Are we having, you know, talks, pillow talks? You know, are we cooking dinner together? Are we eating dinner together? Where are we today? And if you're not where you want to be today, where do you see you guys? Where do you want to see you guys in the future? What do you want that to look like? And write it out. We try to keep everything up here. Write it out. Write it out. And at the bottom, affirmations and actions. I'm actually going to do a session where I'm talking about how to actually go through this, but I want you to at least have it in your hands. The affirmations and actions are basically this. Affirmations that I have one, I wrote it down, that I used often, and I still do. And I want to share it with you guys. I have it here. Let me find it real quick. I love myself and my husband unconditionally, and we have a healthy, happy marriage. I love myself and my husband unconditionally, and we have a happy, healthy marriage, right? That was one of the affirmations that I used all the time, and I still do. I'm just saying. And so you can put your affirmation here and then your action, all right? So if I say I love myself unconditionally and I love my husband unconditionally, and we have a happy, healthy marriage, what are some actions that I can take that line up with what I'm saying? Because your words shape your world. Your words become your reality. I'm going to talk to you guys about when I wasn't speaking life into my marriage and what happened consequently, you know, after that, right? So the action would be, all right, I love myself and my husband unconditionally. Even though my husband and I aren't seeing eye to eye right now, I love him unconditionally. And what action can I express that would say that I love him unconditionally? Is it, you know, cooking his favorite meal? Is it, you know, asking him out on a date, or making his favorite drink, or, you know, whatever it is, an action coupled with an affirmation. So that's what the affirmation plus action is, because I don't want you to just be thinking it. I want you to write down. I want you to speak it, and I want you to act, right? Because all of that goes together. You can't just say something and not do anything, right? Your actions have to match your words. So that's what the affirmations in action is all about, okay? So drop your email below, or you can inbox me your email, and I'll send it to you. It's in a PDF. You can download it, print it out, and write it out. It's something therapeutic, ladies, about writing. You know, it's something therapeutic about writing, and it gives you clarity when you can write things down and you can really look at it and honestly say, man, like this is where we are. Like we are jacked up, you know, but this is where I want us to be. And there is hope for Black marriages. There is hope for Black love. Black love is amazing. Black love matters, you know, so I'm all for that. And I'm learning how to make it a priority in my life. So this is why I'm sharing this with you all. This is why the Wifey Rehab exists. So I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight live. I said I was not going to be on here forever. So drop your email if you want the Wifey Rehab activity sheets. I will send those to you directly to your email. Please share this with women that you know that are married, that desire to be married, or may have been, you know, may have experienced a divorce and they desire to be married again or whatever. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Please make sure you go over and like my The Neka Arnold-Scott page. I'll be dropping some nuggets over there and sharing these videos and all of that good stuff over there too. So I love you guys to pieces. And remember, Black love is amazing. I'm your girl, Neka Arnold-Scott, and this has been the Wifey Rehab. See you guys next week, 8:05. Set your calendar. Tell your girlfriend to bring a friend, okay? Because it's going up right over here in the Wifey Rehab. See you guys later. Peace.